I want to show you how it's possible to make mashed potatoes with a Champion juicer. I want to tell you actually what's going to be the ingredients of these potatoes, of these mashed potatoes. You might not like any of this stuff when you eat your mashed potatoes, but this is what we put in our mashed potatoes. What we have here is some onions, and we have quarter butter right here. And if I get down here with some rose paprika, or paprika, or however you pronounce it. There's some more quarter back there that's gonna go into it. And this is rice milk, 100% lactose-free, gluten-free rice milk. I wanted to mention what the parts are for the Champion juicer, because the Champion juicer basically comes in like 7 parts. You have the screen right here is what you normally use for juicing, because it's on the bottom of this apparatus and the juice is able to fall out the bottom into your glass container. But this is the part that we're going to be using in place of what's normally on the juicer for juices for the potatoes. It's called a blank, and what happens is when you use that, the potatoes won't go out the bottom, won't get squished through the bottom. It'll come out in the front of this apparatus right here. And that section underneath here, this section is where these 2 parts will go. That is called the tamper, and you'll see how that's used. And this is what these, this is what those 2, the blank and the screen goes in. This is the auger right here, which is gonna do all the work of mashing up the potatoes or juicing the vegetables if that's what we were doing. But just wanted to check in, let you know that the potatoes are almost ready. We've quartered them up. We have some onions. The onions are already cut up. That's like about 2 small sized onions right there. And also we have the garlic, and the garlic's gonna be cut up as well. All of this has to do with your particular taste. I try to have it more like, I guess these mashed potatoes would be more like what you would find in a deli, but this is also like really healthy. I mean, garlic is very good. It's called garlic is called a superfood. So, you know, with those going into mashed potatoes, it just makes it much more tastier and much more healthier. Hey everybody, I just wanted to show you this little chart that I keep in the kitchen. It was something that was downloaded from the internet a bit ago. But what this chart entails is like onions. You see onions there? The benefits, some of the benefits of onions is that it reduces the risk of heart attack, combats cancer, it kills bacteria, lowers cholesterol, and it fights funguses. And I would recommend just to get a little chart like this if you look up on the internet the benefits of any of these foods that you see here: rice, strawberries, oranges, sweet potatoes, etc., walnuts, water. And you know, this chart is really helpful and inspirational sometimes when I feel like eating junk food. Right here you see the garlic. I'm trying to stay still for you. Well, the garlic, some of the benefits of it are it lowers cholesterol, controls blood pressure, combats cancer, kills bacteria, and fights fungus. And it just goes on down. Green tea, honey, lemons, limes, mushrooms, etc., olive oil. So I just wanted to tell you that. For those who aren't familiar with the Champion juicer, and for those who are, but you know, think that it would be a good idea for me to show how to assemble one, I left it unassembled still, so I can show you exactly how it's put together. Here are the potatoes. They're ready to go now. They've been cut smaller so that we can boil them faster. That's why we've cut them up already before they're going to be made into mashed potatoes, delicious mashed potatoes, scrumptious mashed potatoes. Here is the garlic all cut up, and we leave it a little bit crunchy, you know, a little bit of texture, not mashed or anything. And none of this gets cooked. You want everything to stay in its natural state so you can get the maximum nutrients out of the food. Cooking food takes the nutrients out of the food. The more you cook the food, the more nutrients come out of the food. That's why You know, I love grilling on a grill and stuff of that nature, but I do it very rarely because grilling gives your food immense amounts of heat, and with that goes the nutrients. I've tried almonds. These are like fresh almonds that are without salt. They're totally as natural as they can be. I would say if you like a little bit of crunchiness and if you want a little bit more nutrients and stuff in the mashed potatoes that you make, take some of these almonds, and that's what they look like. Take some of those almonds and crush them up. Another thing is, like with that chart I showed you, if you go ahead and research the benefits of almonds, you'll be really surprised. My name is Cupid. I'm making mashed potatoes. I was going to say juicing, but I am using a juicer. I'm juicing and making mashed potatoes with the juicer from Frankfurt, Germany. So, as I told you earlier, this is the auger right here. It's the auger. This is what does all of the work. Looks simple, but this is some great technology right here. This auger is going to go on the front of the juicer. Then that slides right on there like that. Okay? This is the blank that's used for the potatoes, and the blank goes right here. Okay? That's where the blank goes, right there. You see there's two grooves right here, and that goes right over your apparatus and the blank that you're going to use for mashing up the potatoes. So that can just slide on like that. Boom. Real easy and smooth. Let me show you right quick another way that they say in the directions to put this on, because some people might not like to do it how I did it. You just take this apparatus here and you place it on the front carefully. Try not to, run this apparatus over your auger blades, because you don't want them to get dull from you constantly doing that. You put this on here with the grooves. You put this apparatus on the juicer with the grooves. It holds there. As you can see, take your blank, put it on top, and then you take this particular part that holds the blank and the other juicing part that you saw for juice. This goes right over the top. Again with the grooves. If you tried it the other way, it wouldn't even work. So I'm just trying to give you the full gamut of what we're doing. And then that just slides over. Just like that. Simple, easy as pie. Once that's on, you remove this apparatus here, the little grooves, nice and easy so you don't mess up your blades. And then you take this and you slide it back on, and it's on. It's secure, you see? It's secure and it's ready to go. You take your tamper. This is the tamper, which goes in the top, so you can push down whatever you're working with. This here is the funnel. The funnel I use often because you see that this little circular part here is not very big. And when you're putting in potatoes or other things that you might be juicing, it can be a bit difficult to get them in there. So I often use the funnel. And things also won't like fall out, because the funnel, as you can see here, the funnel keeps it from, see how it secures it around the edge so it doesn't fall out and make a mess and get it all over your juicer and everything. So we're ready to roll. For some of you, that this might seem silly for me to be telling you this, but a lot of people still peel potatoes without using these devices. But this one works well, but this one, with the flathead, I recommend that you get one of these, because peeling potatoes has never been so easy when you get one of these. What this is a little bowl that's very heavy, has a lot of substance in it. These bowls come in larger sizes. I'm not sure exactly what they're called, but it has this device that's flat on the bottom, and this is what's used inside of here to mash things up. So what I'm going to just do is take these almonds, put them in here. Since we have a lot of potatoes, I'm not going to really focus on how many I'm actually going to put in here, but I'm going to do whatever that is. Because we are having so many potatoes. We're making so many potatoes. The reason why I'm also being a bit careful with using almonds in the food is because almonds have to be consumed lightly. You know, almonds is not something that you just want to take and eat like a snack, like you might do with peanuts or cashews or walnuts. You know, almonds are it's a very powerful superfood. This is another thing called a superfood. If you look on the internet, just put into whatever search engine you like, superfoods, put in superfoods, and there will be a list, or you can put in list of superfoods, you know, list of superfoods or superfoods list. I know you know how to search for what you want. I'm just trying to make it a little bit easier because I've done these things so I can kind of just tell you what could be the quickest method of going about it. So since the almonds are a very delicate superfood, there are certain things in it that you don't want to get into your body too much. Almonds are also in that chart that I showed you. Almonds help prevent or reduce a multiple of different diseases. So I'm gonna push my hand over it, put my hand over the top so it doesn't fly all over the place. And I'm gonna beat it. Just mashing it up. See how it's coming? See how it's going? It's being mashed up a little bit. And the more I, of course, do that, the more it's going to be mashed up. When you do this, you can do it to your own consistency, you know, to the size. You can mash these up to the size you want your almonds to be in your mashed potato. Just mashing up. Almonds are really good too. I mean, I'm sure you've had almond pies. If you haven't, you have to try almond pie. They're great. Almond milk is another thing I recommend over cow's milk, as well as that rice milk that you saw earlier. Coconut milk is great for you. Rice milk is great for you. It's much better than cow's milk. And I have to tell you this because many of the cows are eating food that is not good for them to produce milk. Just to put it in a nutshell, the cows these days, many of them, are not being treated how they should be treated from the beginning. So as a result, their milk is not as healthy as it should be. Then they pasteurize it. And pasteurization is a heating process that the manufacturers or these people that work in dairy industry, they use this in order to kill the bacteria. And I'm sure there's other things that they haven't taught us about. But they use that process to kill the bacteria. So when people consume it, that it's not poisonous to you. So let's just check these potatoes. I just want you to know the potatoes is coming along. They're cut up. In this water, I put a little bit of salt. The salt helps season the potatoes while they sit in there and boil. And also the salt makes the boiling process a lot more efficient. The water boils quicker with salt in the water. So, you know, put as much as you want in there, but what I also recommend is that you don't use normal table salt. The normal table salt is absolutely horrible for your body because it's a manufactured salt. It's fake. It's fake salt. It's an imposter of the real deal. The real salt that's top of the line for human bodies is salt that comes out of mines. That's natural, always natural. Salt that comes out of mines, salt that comes out of particular parts of the ocean. This, for example, is Himalayan salt. And of course, with this being named Himalayan salt, it comes from the Himalayas, the Himalayan mountains in the salt mines, where it's taking this salt hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years to crystallize from Mother Earth. And all the nutrients that's gathered in those mines is in the salt, because salt is a crystal, and that salt, once it's formed, contains powerful packs or a powerful ingredient of nutrients for you. And all of those nutrients in that salt goes into your body. But another fantastic type of salt, which I have a little bit remaining in here, is sea salt. And it comes from the All Natura store here, which is equivalent to Whole Foods store there in the US and in other parts of the world. It comes from the health store is all I'm trying to say. And it has, it's been tested to be high quality sea salt, and Mia salts is sea salt. These are the almonds now. That's what they look like. As you can see, they're still chewable. It's not mashed up too much. Again, we got the garlic. We have the onions. Still chewable. Everything is gonna stay as it is. No cooking of any of this stuff, because you can get the maximum taste and the maximum nutrients. This is the Kräuter butter, ready to go. You don't want to use margarine. Margarine is more akin to wax than it is to something that can nourish your body. This is more butter because it's going to add a little more of this butter along with the Kräuter butter. This is pure 100% butter without any additives. And again, you don't want to use margarine because margarine is horrible for you. And you take your butter and you put it inside of the bowl. And the bowl depends on the size, the amount of mashed potatoes that you want to make. You know, if you want to make a lot, then you get a big bowl. We like to eat a lot, so a lot of mashed potatoes, especially when they're made like this, you know. As a matter of fact, we try not to have any mashed potatoes that come out of a box, you know, powdered, processed. The nutrients in there is probably like zero. Might taste good and all that, but it's not getting anything, you know, for the body. We're going to cut a little bit of this butter as well, just a little bit because we already have that in there. And again, we're making a lot of potatoes, so that should be good. That's for taste. There's nutrients in healthy butter as well. Get these potatoes, set those to the side, and you see they're still hot. But the consistency of these potatoes is only a little bit softer than medium. They're more medium than not. Shoot for medium. And we're going to put the potatoes through the juicer. You can put as much as you want in here at one time. And these potatoes are nothing like you've tasted before. Unless, of course, grandma or someone makes your potatoes naturally. Again, you see the butter is already inside of the bowl because you want the potatoes that are still hot or very warm to melt the butter. It'll be underneath that, underneath the mashed potatoes, and later when you stir it up, it'll get everywhere. You know, the butter will spread throughout all of the mashed potatoes. But look at the consistency of these potatoes. Look at the consistency. It's look at that. The consistency is huge. It's almost like cream. These bad boys are hot too, so if you see me give you the gas face or something, it's because these potatoes are still hot. I'm trying to learn how to control the brain to the fact where I can stand more heat, or when I go to the dentist I don't need as much anesthesia. Because when I hear, if you learn how to control the brain, then you can manipulate your nerve endings and stuff. But right now I haven't learned. I'm just turning this bowl around to make sure that the butter gets covered, from the mashed potatoes. Look at the consistency. Can you show them that consistency inside of there? That is unbelievable. Again, you will only get this, as far as I know, you will only get this option with using a juicer to make mashed potatoes from the Champion juicer. Jack Lalanne is a very famous nutritionalist, health enthusiast who's now deceased. May he rest in peace. But Jack Lalanne is a man who really popularized juicing in the United States I think it was like in the late 1940s, early 1950s. And Jack Lalanne lived into his late 90s. And he was immensely strong from juicing until, well, shortly before he died. If you research Jack Lalanne, this man was incredible. And he swore by it was from him staying in shape and juicing, because that's where the real nutrients are in juicing. When your food is as natural as possible, not cooked, not even baked. And when I say that your food, I mean like your vegetables and your fruits are consumed as whole as possible. Jack Lalanne was able to pull about six to nine rowboats behind him as he swam across the San Francisco Bay. And he was about, I think he was in his 80s when he did that. I think that was for his 80th or 90th birthday. So, and he did that to prove how beneficial juicing is in making sure your foods are whole and not processed. The human body has been designed to consume more plants and fruits than meats, because meats are dead. So, I think we're finished with it. The potatoes are finally finished. Probably didn't know everything was going to get there, but we did. The first thing I want to do is unplug the juicer, because they recommend unplugging this bad boy. So it's unplugged, because it's going to have to be cleaned up. And I would advise you to clean these parts up from the juicer really quick, because, or at least spray them down with water, because the potato residue that's still left on here and stuff, it dries up really fast. And once it's dry, it's more difficult to get off. I'll up the spoons, and I'm just gonna mix this up a little bit, because remember the butter and everything is down in the bottom. See, the butter and everything is still in there. I'm just gonna mix it up, and it's really easy. I'm not using much muscle power to move all these potatoes around. See the quarter butter, which is starting to add to that? Just move it around, nice it around. And the thing about it too is that these potatoes are pretty much seasoned as far as having salt in them, because I put salt into the water they boiled in. Anyway, I'm gonna put the onions directly in there, and I don't know if I want all of them, so I stirred up a little bit in between, put them in there so I can see how much is in here. See, let's check that. See if that's good. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. That's going to give it a nice crunch. Yeah, see that? Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to be delicate with this garlic. This is garlic. We're going to be a little delicate with that. We're going to take it out and just sprinkle through that. Sprinkle a little of that in there. Move it around. If your mouth is not watering right now, you must have already eaten, or I'm putting ingredients here that you really don't like or know much about or haven't tried. But these type of potatoes you get, if you're out buying potatoes, if you get potatoes like this is at a very expensive restaurant where quality is more of the goal than quantity, like many fast food places, or even in a lot of restaurants, they use mashed potatoes, or they pop your potatoes in the horrible microwave that destroys it. These are the almonds, and I'm going to take the almonds and just spread it around a little bit. Again, this is for health, and it's for texture, and it's for taste. Yeah, see that? See how lovely that is? And look at the consistency of those potatoes. Look at that. Look at that, y'all. Look at the consistency of those potatoes. It's crazy. This is paprika. I showed you this earlier. Paprika is healthy. It's, of course, it's dried. It's a vegetable in its normal state. And I sprinkled this in here for the way that it looks, and also for health again. Paprika is good for you, and this is 100% You know, there's no additives or anything in that. It's natural as you can buy it. We got the Kreuter here, and with the little potatoes on my finger. I use the big side because I don't mind. If I poured all of that Kreuter in there, it's fine by me. You know, so I spread that in there, and it's just, again, adds a nice texture, adds more health and nutrients in here, and you just stir that up. You can see the pieces of onions and garlic and things in there. Now, we have rice milk, just because it comes from Mother Nature. And that's what this is all about. I'm adding a little milk in here to make it creamy. How much did I just add? I don't know. 2 ounces maybe. You see that in there? See how it's sitting in there? It's not saturated or anything. Just a little bit in there to make it, you stir it up to make it a little creamy. See how it's getting creamier? See that? See that back there? Man. Woo. If you send me your address, I'll send you by UPS overnight, free of charge, some of these potatoes in a bowl. I'm just joking, by the way. As much as I would like to send you some of these potatoes so you can taste them, or put a little lick spot on the screen so you can go and lick it and get an idea. You can scratch and lick instead of scratch and sniff. Actually, I would put both on there. One be scratch and sniff, and one be scratch and lick. But I don't think that technology won't be here until maybe a few more years. Maybe by 2020, you can come and come to the channel, and with the potatoes, you can scratch and sniff and scratch and lick. And I wanted to mention that I am a chef also. I got my chef certification in 1998. There's much better chefs than I am. It's not it's a passion, but it's not a job where I practice it every day or consult it with. I just wanted to tell you that because I think that's just a little bit more texture of who I am. But if you're gonna make your potatoes and want to add gravy with your potatoes, make sure that the gravy is healthy. You can get from the Whole Food store, the bio store, or online. You can get online recipes to make different type of gravies for your potatoes. So it doesn't have to be something made that's totally unhealthy for you. There's just so many benefits from it. So that's it. I'm gonna come back sometime in the near future, hopefully, and and make for you different things you can put in the freezer, like smoothies, or how you can make ice cream with bananas and peaches and pineapples and things like that with the Champion juicer, with this bad boy. You can make all of those things with the Champion. I haven't seen no other juicing company that can even compare. And again, my name is Cupid. I'm from the Topkats Pride, the topkatsgroup.com. I gotta have some of this before I go. In front of you. Honestly, it's the best potatoes I ever had. I'm just gonna add some pepper. I forgot to add pepper. Black pepper with the grounds in there. You see? Just gonna add a little pepper, and that's it. But I'll finish seasoning that once we sign off. So take care, and come back and see us sometime, okay? Because hopefully we can have something interesting for you. Ciao.